You've just sold your company. The money's in the bank, you want to reward yourself. So what do? You buy a Ferrari road car. But that doesn't fix the itch. So what's the 1%er solution? A Ferrari racing car.
I make them dollar bills, I make them dollar bills. I stack them up and put them in my fridge and let them chill. Yeah, you know the deal. I do that for real and real. I make them dollar bills, yeah, my name is Bill. I do that for real. Yeah, you know the deal. And by the time you know it's double ready.
It's the 296 Challenge car, the entry level to the official Ferrari racing program that, assuming you've got enough cash and talent, could even end up with a seat in the 499p LMH hypercar in the World Endurance Championship. Don't scoff. Nicholas Nielsen did just that, winning the Ferrari Challenge Europe title in 2018 and then Le Mans in 2024. There are various challenge series all over the world, from the US to a newly minted one in Australasia, with the culmination at the annual Ferrari Fest, the Finale Mondiale. The series have been running since 1993 with the Ferrari 348, and now, via cars like the 360 Challenge Stradale, through to the 430 and latterly 488 Evo, there's a new offering, the 296 Challenge. Through each of those generations, the emphasis has shifted. So the Challenge cars have gone from being largely carbon copies of the road car, just with a roll cage and fire extinguisher, into something like the 296, which is much more of a full-blown racer. This thing borrows almost as much from the sibling GT3 Racer as it does from the 296 GTB road car. So what's changed? The big news is that it's no longer a hybrid. Yep, Ferrari has ditched all that heavy, torque-filling tech, partly for reasons of durability/cost, and partly because it's not allowed in some of the other race series where a 296 might compete. But fear not. Power from the actual engine has been up to 690 brake horsepower, and torque is 546 pounds-feet, while Ferrari has shaved 140 kilos off the dry weight of the car. So although overall power is down by 129 brake horsepower from the road 296, the actual power to weight is closer than you'd think. The GPF, the gasoline particulate filter, has gone, so the 3-litre V6 sounds even better. And because there's less back pressure from the now straighter exhaust, the turbos can spin 10% faster, up to 180,000 RPM. Given the length of the main straightaway we're testing today, it's a good job that the brakes have also been overhauled. Now measuring 408mm at the front and 390 at the rear, Ferrari has fitted a new system called CCMR+, basically carbon fibre brakes V2. Using longer carbon fibre strands, they're meant to be more durable, offering customers better value for money. In a Ferrari, the shock of it.
As you can probably tell just by looking at this thing, it's not exactly a normal club racing car. The aero is off the scale. Ferrari borrowed a lot of their knowledge from the GT3 program and put it into the 296 Challenge. One of the really clever things is this XS duct here, which takes air that comes in here and fires it out of the top there, which helps keep the central diffuser a lot cleaner and a lot more efficient. If you come around to the back with me, there's obviously an enormous rear wing, de rigueur on these sorts of things. 7 possible wing settings to cope with all the different circuits it races at. Swan neck mounted because the underside of a rear wing is more important to the aero, hence the reason for putting the mounting points on top. Total downforce, 870 kilos, which isn't far off the F80 all-singing, all-dancing road car that Ferrari's just launched. Massive diffuser. But the whole point of all of this is that it's meant to keep the car relatively stable, which is vital because obviously it's a car that is raced by all sorts of levels of drivers. How stable, we'll find out later. So as you can see, this isn't quite the same as the 296 GTB road car. All the usual racing car paraphernalia, full race seat, stripped out interior. What we do have is the same steering wheel that was on the 488 Evo Challenge car, so that's the last generation car. Don't worry that it's not a full steering wheel, you only need a certain amount of lock, so it doesn't matter that you don't have a full circle. The 2 buttons that we're really interested in today are these 2. These are the traction control units, and basically they're the Challenge equivalent of the Manatino. TC1 controls the turn-in for your traction control, so it allows the car to rotate a little bit more on the way into a corner, and it goes from 4 to 1, 1 being the least aggressive, 4 is maximum. Same settings on TC2, 4:1, and this one is more of a straight line stability control. There's also, in here somewhere, air conditioning, nice, ABS map, and that's got, again, 4 settings. 2 are for wet, 2 are for dry. Usual start buttons, pit radio, water, I think, somewhere, yes, drink. So it's a full-on race car experience. Here we are, 296 challenge. Pit limiter off.
From the cockpit, everything feels very real. The seat is the same one that appears in the 296 GT3, so you sit low and hugged. It's on sliders, and there's a huge amount of adjustability on the steering wheel as well, so you can pull the wheel towards you, almost uncomfortably so. What's staggering about the 296 Challenge is how instantly accessible the controls are. This is not a car that intimidates with really stiff steering on brakes. As we head out of the pits for the first time, with a nervous Ferrari instructor sat next to me, it's amazing how light the brake pedal is. It operates on a brake-by-wire system, so it doesn't rely on your leg pressure to yield a result at the pads. At first it's almost disconcerting, but as you get faster you quickly forget all about it and move on to the technique of actually driving the thing.
Never late enough on the brakes in this thing. The pedal is so light, you can really get a huge amount of feel from it. All the controls just come to you so easily.
The aero is equally approachable. Despite all the race car feel and ultra-aggressive wings and splitters, it's surprisingly stable to drive. It instantly comes to you no matter whether you're slow, like me, or fast. The 296 is a car that has a wide spectrum of use. It needs to help amateur drivers improve, and yet it needs to also have a really high ceiling to allow Ferrari to judge how good the young talent is. It's such a planted car. We're at the Monte Blanco circuit in southern Spain, where there's a flat right halfway around the lap. I need to change gear mid-corner, normally a nervous moment as the cog swap affects the loading on the car too much and creates an awkward weight transfer. But in the 296 it's so easy that you never even think about it. It just becomes second nature. Pull a paddle, get on with it. During our day with the car, we always had an instructor, and after a few laps it's time to pause and chat through where I'm going wrong. Sat in front of his laptop, data traces arcing across the screen, my times are set against a delta lap from one of the instructors. Oh dear. Apex and exit speed okay, but entry velocity to every single corner is way off. I'm braking far too early, like tens of meters too early. Later I get another go and do manage to hold on for longer. Right foot aching to arc across and jump on the brakes, brain screaming, don't even think about it! It's so easy to rotate it on the brakes. This is what's so weird about it. Is normally I'm used to doing this stuff, rotating it on the throttle, but in this car, it's all about trail braking into the corner, using the brakes to get the nose in, and the power to be gentle on the exit. It's a completely different way of lurking I've ever experienced before, and it's very strange trying to make it, learning a new car on a new circuit all at the same time. This is absolutely key to extracting performance out of the 296. By letting the brake bleed into the apex and then getting gently on the power when the wheels are starting to straighten up, you maximise the aero potential and negate any understeer. The key is to use the brakes to get the car to rotate. I keep getting rapped on the knuckles by my instructor because of my bad habit of jumping on the power too early. But if you're late on the brakes, the apex speed is correct and you can use the accelerator once the car is rotated, settled and pointing in the right direction. Even with a relatively laggy turbo engine, you've still got to be careful before getting on the loud pedal. Do all that and hallelujah. All of a sudden the car comes to you, and my instructor even says good at one point. Happy days! The way the 296 can sweep through a corner, feeling both balanced and planted and mighty fast is really impressive. Confidence boosting even. It's an unbelievable achievement from Ferrari, making a car with such a broad operating window that even mugs like me can feel like heroes. And here's the thing. By doing that, Ferrari has created a brilliant feeder series, allowing it to appeal to both gentleman drivers and also discover the next great talent like Nielsen. In years gone by, the Challenge series felt a bit wasted, like it could be the equivalent of the Porsche Carrera Cup, but something was missing. Now that the 499P exists, and the 296 is so close to being a proper hardcore racing car, the career path opens up. You just need to be able to brake late.